What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing something that I'm relatively open about with people in my life, but it's something I want to share online now too, because I think the more this discussion's had with more people, the more help I can get out of this, and hopefully I'm able to help somebody in return. What we're talking about today is mental health. Obviously in previous videos I discussed how this year has affected me feel alone and things like that, which isn't great for my mental health. I don't think I realized I was kind of having a mental health issue until I actually got my blood work done. So I got my blood work done. The reason why I got my blood work done is because I was feeling overly exhausted, stressed out of my mind, traveling, work, just life, everything was weighing down on me, and it was a lot. And no matter what I did to try to remedy what I was feeling, whether it was more sleep, eating better, skipping training days, things like that, nothing seemed to work for me. So I was getting really frustrated, obviously. And what I ended up doing after speaking with my coach, Dom, is I went and got my blood work done. The reason why I was getting my blood work done is because I was hoping there was something, my hormones being off, some sort of cortisol levels being too high. I was ready for any sort of answer so that I could find some sort of solution to fix that problem. Fortunately and unfortunately, after I got my blood work done, everything came back, nothing significant was showing.
Hey man, so as we talked about a little bit ago when we went through your blood work, just to recap on some of that stuff. So if we take a look at like your thyroid markers, we were in a good optimal range of TSH. T4 was in a decent range as well. Your whole CBC looked really good. Your comprehensive metabolic panel was really good. EGFR 119, creatinine of 0.9, BUN at 18, really good kidney function markers there. So everything there looks pretty solid. All your liver enzymes were perfect and really in optimal ranges. Your LDL cholesterol is flagged a little bit high. We do want to see this under 130. You're at 104. So I wouldn't say this is too much of a cause for concern here. Testosterone at a 484, free testosterone at a 9.4. Obviously, this is a little bit suboptimal, right? You are a natural athlete, so this kind of all makes sense. As we age, right, naturally that starts to drop. So this is something we'll probably keep an eye on over time goes on. Cortisol's at a 13.3. Ideally, we like to see this 9 to 12. So we're trending a little bit higher. It's something we'll keep an eye on. We probably won't implement any adaptogens or anything yet, just because, this could be related to like all the moving and stuff you did. So we'll just keep an eye on that and make sure that doesn't get worse. Estradiol was flagged a little bit high at 43.8. Personally, I like to be around 30 to 40. So we'll keep an eye on this as well. Again, nothing we should really implement to affect things here. We could use something like Morphotest, which can help with like estrogen metabolism and help with like testosterone synthesis just naturally. Reverse T3 under 14 is where we want it. You're at 12.9, so that's good. Vitamin D was pretty low at 29.2. So as we talked, we're going to put the vitamin D supplement in at a pretty hefty dose to begin with, and then taper off as needed. So we'll retest and see where everything else is. But everything else on your blood work looked pretty solid, man.
So the next thing I began to do is think to myself, what could make me feel the way that I am right now? And so one thing I started looking into was, the different chemicals within your brain. And I started looking at dopamine and serotonin and tryptophan and all these different things. Like, what is it? Am I missing something? So I kind of did a deep dive and I focused on serotonin. And the reason why I focused on serotonin first was because no matter how good some days were, I just wasn't really happy. Serotonin is like your happy hormone, right? Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that mediates happiness, satisfaction, and optimism. Those were all things like I was lacking at the time. Like no matter how great of a day it was, I just wasn't any of those things, or my mood would get, if I was any sort of happy or excited, the littlest thing could set me off into a bad mood. That's really annoying because that's the complete opposite of who I am as a person. I started diving into over-the-counter things that could help naturally boost my serotonin levels, production, things like that. So before you even get to serotonin, you need adequate amounts of tryptophan. Tryptophan is an essential amino acid. It helps for normal growth in infants, part of the production and maintenance of the body's proteins, muscles, enzymes, and neurotransmitters, which is what serotonin is. So as I began to dive into the different over-the-counter vitamins and minerals and things like that could help, I found my new stack of supplementation that I started doing probably about mid to late July for the help of boosting my serotonin levels. So the first one I started taking is SAM-E. I bought this at Vitamin Shop. SAM-E is commonly used to treat depression. SAM-E increases turnover of serotonin and actually helps increases levels of dopamine as well. The next three, and the reason why I'm going to kind of group these three together, is because in 2020, when people were getting sick and stuff like that, I actually took these three supplements as is because they were great for your immune system. And what they were is, first is vitamin D, helps increase and encourage serotonin production and release. As a result of my blood work, my vitamin D levels were actually low. So that further confirmed when I started researching serotonin that maybe because my vitamin D levels were low, that's why I wasn't able to be as happy and outgoing and positive all the time. The next thing I did is magnesium. Out there that shows that magnesium can help increase your serotonin levels. That studies have shown that when there is a patient that's dealing with depression or low level of serotonin, that they actually have a magnesium deficiency. Next up, I took zinc. So zinc can help maintain neurotransmitter balance and reduce the likelihood actually of having serotonin deficiencies. So these three I was taking almost regularly every day, 10,000 IUs of vitamin D, and then 1 pill of my magnesium, 1 pill of zinc. And I was doing that every day in like all of 2020 and half of 2021. So I think also that I was taking these for my health at the time. I didn't realize they were serotonin boosters, so when I stopped taking them regularly, my mood was affected. Next, I have omega-3. What omega-3 actually does, the fish oil, will help serotonin work better and more efficiently within your body. The key component of omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, it reduces brain inflammation, facilitates the release of serotonin because your brain's not as inflamed. Next, I take folic acid now as well. Folic acid is a naturally occurring vitamin B. Folic acid, or folate as it's often called, is needed in the brain in order to synthesize both dopamine and serotonin. Next, I've been taking B6 as well. Vitamin B6 actually can help with depression because vitamin B6 is a cofactor in the tryptophan to serotonin pathway. So by taking this, you're helping to ensure that your tryptophan actually gets converted over to serotonin. Now last, this was one of the first ones that popped up when I first started my research, and that is what serotonin brain food does from Natural Stacks. Actually helps your natural production of serotonin. Some of the things that are in it is magnesium and zinc, and tryptophan itself. And there's also niacin and rhodiola rosea root extract. So the serving size is 3 capsules and it comes with 20 servings. However, since I'm already taking all these other vitamins and minerals that are over the counter, I don't take the full serving. I do 1 pill of this a day. And the way I tested all this to make sure it's not any sort of placebo effect that's upon me, usually when I travel back to Michigan, I don't take any of this with me. I do have vitamin D3 at my house, at my parents' house in Michigan, but and magnesium and zinc because I had a bunch left over from 2020. Whenever I was gone from Florida, I didn't take anything like brain food or any of the other things like that. And my mood did change, or my ability to stay positive through tough situations changed. I wasn't able to handle it as well. I didn't feel as happy-go-lucky off the rip. So that's how I knew that these were actually working for me. Before I go and recommend things or say to look into things, I like to try things myself. But still, even though I'm making this video telling you guys about my experience, I still think you need to research it on your own, get blood work done, things like that. Just be super smart about it, be vigilant about it, because your health, your mental health is super important. So real quick, I'm gonna talk about how I take these, and there's only 2 that are really special. Other than that, I just do whenever. So my vitamin D3, I take 5 pills right before bed. That was recommended to me by Coach Dom. I take my SAM-E on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, kind of go about my morning, get my food ready, have a cup of coffee or whatever, and then I will pop these all, and then I will leave for work. Typically they say to have a meal in your body with these. Usually I'll take these, then drive to work, and I eat my first meal at work. So I usually go about 40 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on traffic, without eating. But again, maybe my body's insane and it can handle it. Yours might not be able to, so just don't take my word for it. You know, I always suggest following the instructions first and then go from there. That is it for today's video. I kind of wanted to talk about my new stack, what I'm using to kind of fight back, if you will, with my mental health and just continue to prioritize myself this year, both physically and mentally, so I can be the best version of me possible. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Hopefully it sparks some ideas. If you struggle with your mental health, maybe this is something you can look into, blood work, anything like that. I highly recommend, you take any and all steps. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on your post notifications, and send the video to a friend. You guys know the drill. But most importantly, don't forget to have a great day or night. Don't forget to keep God number one. God bless. Shout out to RPG for all the dope gear.